True or false?
False.
All right.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. All right.
So he hasn't been back?
No.
Wow, what a piece of shit.
Right? not out of line. Right? I'm going to play this little ditty and then we'll begin.
All right.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Chemda, we did it. We made our goal. Now we're going for stretch goals. KeithandtheGirl.com/history. It's our Kickstarter that will celebrate what will soon be, hopefully, 15 years in podcasting,
That's
right?
incredible. Have you done anything else for 15 years?
No.
No?
Honestly, no.
Not really, right? Yeah. I haven't. Nope, not one job. I think the clown job I did for 12 or 13 years, so this is longer now.
So take a look. It means a lot. Thank you. By stretch goals, by the way, I mean if 500 people are part of this Kickstarter, we're going to add 12 hours to the already 24 hours that are guaranteed.
And that's just one of the stretch goals. I'm looking at it now. There's $15 in VIP credit. That already everybody gets. Add 24 hours to the marathon, monthly chat parties, a new free podcast about all 50 states because we did like a thing on Kentucky and people liked it. Or KATG studio moves to a campground for a month.
A lot of stretch goals. All right.
Our guest got excited about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, featured in the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival, the Hell Yes Fest, Laughing Skull Festival. It's still available, by the way, in your VIP package on the Keith and the Girl Network. Shark Tank. Here he is, your friend and mine, Steven Spinola.
What's up?
How you
Been
doing,
a
buddy?
while.
I'm doing good. Still saying Waza since 1998.
Right. Well, it has been a while. You moved to Nashville
I did.
with the love of your life, right?
Yes.
Get away from the hustle and bustle of the big city.
Slowing things down.
Do you miss it?
Not,
New York? No?
Not even a bit.
All right.
I mean, I miss you guys.
Sure.
I miss seeing people that I knew. You know, a lot of people that I hung out with are now in LA and stuff. So not too much to miss. I miss my grandfather's farm and stuff, but I'm living there right now.
Do me a favor. Sorry. Rinse out your mouth for a little bit. I don't know if it's all the weed you smoke or something, but I do hear something. You where you live around Nashville?
Yes, I live about 25 minutes from the city of Nashville.
Okay. And is weed legal there?
Not even close.
Does that make it exciting?
Yes.
Okay.
What kind of excitement are you looking for?
You know, that high school excitement. You know, the cops are after me, dude.
You and your girlfriend are talking about having kids, or at least she is.
She is. I'm talking about being a stay-at-home dad. So, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, she's really literally begging for kids.
Yes.
How many does she want?
She wants to have at least 3, she said.
Wow.
Yeah.
How old are you?
28 years old.
All right.
Do you think that's a trick to get you to meet her in the middle and start with 1 or 2?
That's a good idea.
Right?
Because I am willing to have 1 or 2.
Right. What do you do for a living in
Boy,
Nashville?
Keith, your negotiation skills with mates it's very interesting.
No, everything's a trick.
Everything's a trick. The Keith Malley story.
Would you?
That's your next book title. Everything's a trick.
Yeah. Number one, the tricks of communication.
That really is your attitude,
really
too. It's all a goddamn trick.
Yeah. Nobody's getting me.
What's your trick?
Catching tricks?
Every time you meet somebody at a party, that's how you network. You just go around. So what's your trick, buddy?
You trying to trick me? I'm hardly ever wrong. I want to be wrong.
That's it. But that's your range of emotion. Who's tricking you and who's
Yeah.
not.
I don't want to be living in a world of magicians, but I see you.
Oh my goodness.
I
What's
was
it like to be you?
Pleasant once you realize what the world's up to. If I was proven wrong twice in a row in my life, then it would be a different way of living. But I'm always correct, and I'm always on to you.
You really are always
Right.
on to me, that's for sure.
And he's always correct.
He's always correct.
People go, Keith, you think you know everything? I take a bow. Yeah. Just open your fucking eyes. Everybody's walking around with depression. Everybody's walking around, oh, the world hates me. Yeah. Now that you know that, why is it making you sad? No,
Isn't it the weirdest, like, kind of Buddhist shit? It's like the opposite of Buddha, but like completely Buddha.
Yeah, in a way it is, yeah.
no, Keith, so everybody's out to get you? No, they're just out to get them.
It's a very zen way of thinking.
Yeah.
Everybody's out to get me and I already know it, so what?
Stephen Marley said it best. Everyone will always be who they are.
Yeah. And I know who they are. Shitbirds. And then, yeah. Now I'm dating a girl. She has 3 kids. These kids think they're gonna trick me. Oh, game on. Do me the favor and try. I don't want to. I don't want to be bored at home. You know what I mean?
Well, this is why she wants to have 3 kids. Because she thinks the odds of having one kid that turns out to not be a shitbird is very low.
Yeah, you can't wait until you're 18 and go like, oh, we need another one now.
Right,
You
yeah,
have to
so-
keep the age together.
Yeah, so you keep them going, you keep them brewing, and you diversify your bonds. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, and you hope that one of them turns out good.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
You're back to wanting 3 kids?
No, I still don't want that. I'm an all eggs in one basket. I like to lose it all. That's me. That's my
Bet on black. The end.
like 17 every time.
Now with these 3 kids that basically I'm going to be adopting,
Oh my God.
I'm going to play the favor game, and whoever's nicer to me gets my attention, and they'll keep vying for it as kids do. And welcome, Daddy's home. Yeah, yeah. Now I'm going to be saving that family. They're welcome.
Always pee before the show starts.
Oh, any homework today? No homework today. No homework today. We got ourselves a trickster, don't we? No homework today. You go to one school where there's not math homework every day.
Actually, at Xerxes Kids School, there's no homework anymore.
Well, he goes, who knows what school that is? He takes them to a
Yeah,
forest.
well, you know what that is? The school tricking you. That's what that is.
Yeah. What kind of school is that? No grades. Okay. Somebody's tricking you. Your job is to find out who it is in each situation.
Exactly.
If there's a room of 3 people, one of them is tricking you. Who? How? And then the why is if you got the time. I don't. No, it's like I have glasses and they live. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is look.
Oh my God! Why is this so funny?
I miss you, Keith.
Thank
You
you.
know, I've said before, you are my favorite comedian.
And then I think, what angle is that coming from?
It's a trick. It's a goddamn trick.
But I just keep it in the back of my head, and then if something else adds up, it puts it together automatically, like a magnet connecting all the thoughts, and boom, there's my answer. It's an open mind. It's actually a positive thing.
He's been smoking more weed.
Well, the third eye. I have 3 eyes to see you fuck with me. You know?
I should start my morning with that fucking speech. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good.
There was no homework. Try again. What? Try again.
Can you imagine these kids at therapy? And then our stepdad came into the fucking picture.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. This bearded
He just
weirdo.
gave us homework that we didn't have. Said we were tricking you.
Oh, so is Mrs. Johnson a fucking liar? Because I'm going to call her if she's a fucking liar. I don't want you to go to school with a fucking liar. Oh, no, now I remember there was homework. Oh, now you remember. Now you remember.
I love the idea of you getting mad and not believing that they don't have homework and just calling the teacher.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. If my parents just called my teacher because I didn't have homework, that would be the most like horrific moment of school.
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, so don't try tricks.
Don't do it.
Right? Tricks aren't even for my kids. Okay? Now, I'll open up your book bag, and I see your homework half done. I go, well, I guess you don't need this, because you weren't assigned homework, were you? So what am I ripping up? Nothing. Nothing. If she calls you, though, and you do have homework after all, you might have to start over. Start over from what? I don't know. You didn't have none.
Imagine this is your stepdad.
I know. I mean, dude.
And then I go to the magnets.
Like,
that
we laugh, but how horrifying for these kids. You know?
He's also 6'2". Like, this is fucking weird.
I'm not going to fight him. Now, on the refrigerator, I have magnets. 3 magnets, each of their names. And the one that lied to me about homework, I just move them on the bottom of the list. And then every day they see how they rank.
So you have a list of human beings.
This is how he decides who's tricking him at any moment. This is the top of the list.
And number 1 at the top, trick me less this week. And we go get ice cream.
You get ice cream with one of the 3 kids.
Yeah, yeah.
In the big city.
Yeah. But I get ice cream, too. I don't just stare at them like a weirdo. We're both enjoying ice cream, talking about how fun it is not to trick each other. Being pure of heart.
How are you real?
And mommy will still give you attention, but whose attention do you want? You know, I went to Landmark, and he just started, this teacher had to start yelling at the different people. And then the people are like, oh, I'm sorry, we'll never be late. We'll pay more money for bonus classes, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You can make anybody have daddy issues, is my point.
Okay.
And I'm home.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be an all new world with this family.
Oh, my God.
The Polish.
That was inspirational in very weird ways.
Yeah, I'm going to think about that for a long time, Keith.
I'm going to have a whole mushroom trip just thinking about that. I'm just going to play this on loop and just fucking trip. There's something in this that's so magical. I'm going to write a whole book.
Stepdad, I have a question. I put my feet on the table. Go ahead, start with the tricks. I'm ready. I want to hear your tricks. I have something in your eye that says lie, lie. So I'm ready. Trickster says what? Goodbye. Taking Maggie for ice cream. So let's see. 44 minus, what are you getting, 16? Okay, equals I'm much smarter. Okay. But what were you saying, dum-dum?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Your mom can't trick me, but you can. Okay.
Is the mom trying to trick you?
I'm just open.
Everyone's trying to trick you.
Trick you into raising
And that's what
3
they
kids.
do, and that's what they do. You know, everyone's trying to trick you. No, I'm saying you. You know what I mean? The poll was, would Keith make a good stepdad? On our forums, of course, each show has a thread. Those threads have a poll. Would Keith make a good stepdad? 72% say yes.
I agree.
Of course I would.
What are you going to do? Shake the baby? You'll be fine.
That'd be great.
What are you going to do? Kill them? They're teenagers already. Oh, he's going to be great.
You need to have a fun stepdad. You can't have, like, are you brutally serious as a stepdad?
Not if you're cool with me. Be
Not
cool.
if you're not tricking me.
Don't trick me. The one rule I have. Don't trick me. That's it.
My stepdad, he was so cool for like the first few years. And then like once they got married and they had a kid, then it stopped being cool anymore.
Ew.
Yeah. We were like friends and then all of a sudden,
Why?
because he didn't have any kids. And then once he had his own kid, he was like, oh shit, kids are serious. He's like, I got to take this seriously and they can't just be my friends.
Oh, that's
you
a
know?
shame. How old were you when that happened?
7.
Oh, wow. And you remember it that black and white?
Yeah, well, I remember when it started. When they had the baby, I was 7. So then between like 7 and 9 was like the transition of him being serious. And they had their second kid when I was 9, and then it was like all bets are off, like no fucking around, because they were afraid that we were gonna hurt the babies. You know?
That's funny.
Yeah, it's like weird.
You're just gonna punch it in the face.
No, that's not. They're afraid of like kids running around the house. You know what I mean? So it was always like no running in the house, because if you run and step on this baby,
Why are you putting the baby on the floor then?
babies, that's where they go. That's safe for all.
They're not going to hold business meetings in cribs. Okay, you got to get them ready.
So did you start lashing out?
Yeah, that's why. Because I hated everything being so serious. I was like, you used to be fun. You used to take us to Knicks games. Now, you know.
Wow.
In the episode entitled Kids with Carmen Lynch, we asked, will Keith and these kids get along? It was the first time I met one of them, but, you know, under false pretenses. I didn't say I was dating the mom. 82% say yes, I'll get along with the kids. So more people think I'll get along with the kids than I'd make a good stepdad to those kids. And then way back in 2011, I see a poll with Jesse Joyce, the show entitled PG-13, would Keith make a good parent? Period.
That's when there was still hope that you might jizz in someone and make something.
69% say yes. So more people believe I'll be a better parent if the kids are already half raised.
I feel like that's normal because you don't have to do much, so more people can rely that you can do that amount.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have to do anything if you're the stepfather.
Oh, I dare them to go, you're not my real dad. I'll go, no shit. Bye.
I'm not trying to trick you.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm not trying to trick you.
Okay, I'm going to the movies then. Okay. What was the argument?
You know, I'm so afraid of being a dad and being a stepdad. I almost had an opportunity to be a stepdad. I was dating a girl who had a kid, and we ended up breaking up. But
Did you meet the kids?
yeah, I met the kid, and honestly, I'll tell you the truth. When I met the kid, I wanted to love it so much and just couldn't.
How old was the kid?
7, I think, or 6.
What do you mean you couldn't?
Like it was someone else's kid, and I
Yeah.
was like, if I'm gonna marry this person and raise this kid, it's like, I don't know. I just want my own kids. There was so much. I could see the dad. I knew the dad too, so I could see the dad and the kid, and I was just like, I don't know.
I think I would like it. Because I've been around children so much, I can see any kid being my kid. Like when I look at kids, I'm like, that's my kid. Not in a weird way. Like we're all raising this kid. Like we all have this influence on this society that, you know, is being like pushed on this kid. So I could do it.
You're not selfish like me, is what you're saying.
No.
What do you do for a living in Nashville? We got to think about this with kids.
I'm an Uber driver, right? So yeah, we do have to think about that. So probably just one kid, and it'll probably be a struggle economically.
Get one kid until that kid gets a job.
Right. Well, but then again, that's where her idea comes in. It's like maybe we do 3, and one of them raises us later. You know what I mean?
You get the questions that I assume every Uber driver gets. Is the money good? What are your hours?
Oh my God, all the questions. The first question they always ask is, "What do you do for a living?" Though.
Even though here we are.
Yeah, I usually say, "This is it, baby."
Right.
You know, trying to be fun, but in my head, I'm just thinking like, "You're a fucking idiot."
But do they are they so drunk that they think that you're their sober friend who came to pick them up and take them where they need to go?
No, I don't usually drive drunk people. I try not to drive drunk people.
How do you know?
Well, the clientele that I'm driving is usually a little bit higher class than the regular. Yeah, I drive a luxury vehicle.
Okay.
So
Pardon?
yeah.
So you would swipe right to get to the better cars, and then that's you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And drunk people, they don't do that. They're not paying $30 for a...
You know, very rarely. And if someone's like really drunk and I notice them stumbling to the car, I usually just leave the doors locked and then like open the window and just like ask them if it's them. And then I'm like, oh, okay, bye. And I just drive right off.
And you still have good reviews?
Well, because they can't rate you if you cancel on them.
And you don't get penalized for canceling?
So like you used to, but now you don't. So like, yeah, you used to have to hold up like a 90% acceptance rate in order to get certain bonuses, but now they just let me do whatever. I'm just a free for all out there.
Oh, that's good. That's safer for you.
In a way, it's safer for my car. I feel, you know.
Right? Did anybody ever throw up in your car?
Yes.
More than once?
Yes.
Ugh.
Oh man.
My fiance was the last one to do it.
Well,
And it
she's
was-
allowed.
Was not during an Uber ride, so I didn't get a $250 service fee. I was like, please get rid of her and give me the $250. But I had a passenger throw up in my car during my first week of Lyft driving.
What happens when they throw up?
I get upset. Basically, there was 4 passengers in the car. It was a guy up front who was like really drunk and talkative, and I was like, just shut the fuck up, please. And then there was a guy in the back who couldn't talk because he was too drunk, and there were these 2 girls. And they were like, the guys are fine. And I was like, honestly, I don't want to let you in my car because they don't seem fine. And they like promised me that it was fine and they were going to give me a big tip. And I was new at the job, so I was like, okay, I like big tips.
Right.
So this guy, he's like, can you pull over on the side of the highway? So I pull over and he throws up on himself. And then I just put the car in park because I'm like, I honestly didn't even get mad outwardly. You know, I was just inward. I was like, all right, what do I do now? Just thinking, put the car in park. When I put the car in park, these girls, they started getting hostile with me. They were like, oh, well, if you're going to be an asshole, we'll just get out here. And I didn't know what happened. Like, they were all drunk, so they just, like, thought that I was doing something hostile by putting the car in park, I guess.
Okay.
And so I was like, great. So get out right here on the highway. Like, I don't need you in my car. Your friend just threw up, and I'm going to charge you guys $150 right when you get out of the car. It's, like, no big deal.
Right. Did they?
They didn't get out of the car. They argued with me for another 5 minutes on the side of the highway until I drove them home, which was like another 2 miles. And then you just take a picture of the throw up, and then Uber send or Lyft. This was, but it's the same thing with both companies. That you just send them a picture of it, and then they send you a fee right out of that person's credit card.
Oh,
like,
that's great. I didn't know that.
So-
you know what? If I threw up in your car, I'm glad that you took the money and like.
Well, because it ruins my night. That's the end of my night. I can't have anybody else in the car now because there's puke in there.
Yeah.
you know?
One Uber driver was telling me, and he starts the conversation. I never do, and I'll get to that. But anyway, he was telling me a story about this guy gets to his destination and then runs out of the car as if he's getting away from a cab. It's like, okay, charged. I bring up how I never talk to Uber drivers, and it's women that I hear this from, and I don't know if guys have this problem too, but they say, this Uber driver, they don't quit talking to me. And I understand why it'd be different with women, but then I say, record it for me. And my girlfriends did this. Another woman did it for me recently. And I hear the woman that I know keeping the conversation going. Mm-hmm, yeah, really interesting. Just shut the fuck up, right? Do you guys, I wonder, like, if the driver is thinking the same thing, like, they will not stop talking.
Wait, but how is that taught? And I'm actually learning right now because the things that you said, I'm like, wait, that keeps the conversation going? You guys suck. Like, really, just taking anything. Me going, mm-hmm.
Yes.
Uh-huh. That's keeping the fuck off. Learn a little bit.
Wow.
Some people can't take social cues.
What
You
kind
know?
So
of-
wait, so
I'll
and
see-
legitimately I'm asking, are you supposed to go
Just shut up.
just and you're saying like and then and blah 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 and I'm just looking at my phone?
That happens to me.
Yeah.
But usually what happens is I ask people when they get in the car, so how's your day going? You know, whatever. Those, if they answer, I'm like, okay, well, I'll ask one more question.
Right.
And then I usually ask the questions until I have nothing left to ask, which is usually about 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how's your day going? Like, are you from out of town? All right, what's on the agenda for tonight?
Right.
That's it.
Not much more to ask. Pregnancy scare recently?
But then if they start asking me questions, that's when a conversation usually goes. But I can tell after like the first question whether or not someone's going to want to talk. Usually the girls will just sit and look at their phone if they don't want to talk to you. Guys, if they don't want to talk to you, they'll like either pretend to be on a phone call. I don't even know if they're taking a phone call. It's hard to tell.
Who's taking phone calls? Oh, suddenly everyone's on the phone in your car.
Yeah, I mean,
When was
yeah.
the last time you saw someone actually on a phone? But they're always on a phone call in your car.
Yeah, so that's like when I hear someone getting on a phone, or sometimes people are on the phone before they even get in the car, and I'm like, is it really a phone call, or are they just like
Right.
trying to not talk to me? I don't know. You know, it's very strange. Everyone's different. I meet a lot of really nice people who like to have really great conversations, and so that's the only thing I actually like about this job, and everything else about it is awful. So
No, I know Henda. When we used to date, she would be on the phone.
I would like to say that this is like 15 years ago, and he brings it up like it's yesterday, and it's not fair anymore.
Because you're the same person to not understand how a conversation keeps going in a car. She'll hold the hold the talk part of the phone so the person can't hear and say to me, they won't hang up. Then Henda would go, mm-hmm, and how are the kids? Oh my God, she keeps going.
I do not do that anymore.
But you would do that in cabs, is what I'm assuming these people are doing. You know, I'll hear the other end. It's like, oh, tell me more, Keith. They won't shut up.
Yeah. Well, so similarly to that, sometimes people will ask me questions and then they don't like the response they get.
Like,
So like one time I had a conservative, it was two people on a double date. There's this 4 people in the car that were very conservative, like huge Trump supporters, and I knew this because they were talking about how much they love Trump.
right.
And so
What were they saying? When you say I love Trump, what is that followed by?
it's usually about whatever news story is going on right now, how it's bullshit, and how I don't understand why the media won't support Trump and won't support his presidency, and they're making it harder for him and all this stuff. And I'm like, whatever. I try not to bring anything political up in the car.
Is it hard not to? Like, if you hear people saying the media hasn't given any president this hard a time as they do Trump, are you able to not go, dude, then think about that?
No, easy. I give them 1 star when they get out of the car. It's so easy. And then I hope they give me a sweet tip and got 1 star, dummies. So these people, they asked me, they were like, so how's the night been? And I was like, oh, it's all good except for my last passenger. So they're like, what happened? So I told them what happened with the last passenger. And the last passenger was this guy who used to play for the Giants, I guess. His name was Jeff something. He was like on the sidelines in '96. But this guy was all dressed up like a 15-year-old. Like, I don't know. It was just very strange. He was dressed like very fashionista 15-year-old. That's the only way I could describe him. And he was telling me how he was literally going to cheat on his girlfriend right now before he goes to hang out with his girlfriend, and like trying to bro it up with me about that. And I was just like, it was like a nightmare. And so I told them that, and they were like, oh, that's disgusting. Where do we go from here? Like, mad at me that I said it. And I was like, well, I'm not the guy who cheated on his girlfriend. You guys asked what happened. So I was just letting you know. And I was all right.
But like, what could have happened?
And they gave me a bad rating.
Wait, why? I would love for you to tell me that story.
A lot of passengers would. See, it's different. It varies ride to ride. If I notice it's a young passenger who doesn't like Trump, I always bring up the Barron Trump tweet, and I become an instant Uber driving celebrity.
The one that you tweeted out about the kid.
They're like, I read about you online.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I've had people take pictures with me.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's funny. Oh, my God.
What was the tweet again?
Oh, my God. You just try to stir things up.
You
Keith.
brought it up.
I did bring it up. As Barron Trump looks like a very handsome date rapist to be.
Yes.
Yeah. The famous tweet.
The famous tweet.
The one that ran me out of town.
Do you laminate it and put in the back seat where people put candy and water?
Yeah, if you just reach inside the ashtray there, you'll find a nice little keepsake.
Would you write a book about being an Uber driver? Because these are really interesting things, like that you see the difference between people who talk about Trump in one way and another, and how you could bring up stuff that people will respond so in sync
Polarizing.
with.
Well, I haven't thought about writing a book. I have thought about doing an online course, kind of, for drivers. Like, if you're going to start doing it, you know what I mean? You just pay $5 and you get a course that teaches you, like, what's about to go down,
That's a good one.
Because I have a lot of experience with a lot of different, because I've done all the tiers, from luxury all the way down to shared rides. So I have a lot of experience and stuff, and so I have a lot of insight, I guess. But I haven't thought about talking about, like, the political aspects and things like that.
Did people get excited like, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll be an Uber driver too. And you just think
In
to
the-
yourself, you won't.
In the car all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You
People
make
say
your
that
own
all the time.
hours, right?
They say this all the time, and I'm like, yeah, honestly, I hate this job, so I don't know why you'd want to do this. And I am honest with people. When people ask me if I like the job, I go, no.
Right.
In
general, when it's for yourself, do you like driving? Some people do, some don't.
I used to. So I used to drive like 14 hours at a time to go do Laughing Skull Festival. I drove from here to Atlanta in one shot, doing 2 bathroom stops, and that was it.
Holy shit.
And like, I loved it,
And
top down, burnt scalp the whole way.
Right. And this ruined it for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I hate driving now. Driving from Tennessee to here now is like my worst nightmare after driving for Uber all week long before I did it. You know what I mean?
When you drove from Tennessee to here,
Yeah, like a few weeks ago.
do you sometimes, if you would stop at like a corner or something, you're waiting for the light to change, and you see a guy like standing on this, do you get confused? Like, am I working? Am I
I'm
supposed
like,
to?
are you Keith? Did you need a ride?
But you know what I mean? I don't
No.
know. I wonder. I get into how many people get into your car like the wrong person.
Only like 2 have done that so far.
I've done that. That's embarrassing. I'm like, do you just want to go anyway?
Sometimes drunk people will knock on the window, because I always keep the doors locked. You still
Right.
knock on the window and they ask, are you here for Jennifer or whatever? I'm like, no.
Right.
A lot of times before they even knock, if I see them coming towards me, I'm just going like this, just going.
No.
Just nodding head.
Just don't even come towards my car.
A drunken 25-year-old man left an East Village bar and hopped into a car thinking it was his waiting Uber, only to be robbed by the driver.
Oh, wow.
The victim lives in New Jersey, told cops he was robbed of his iPhone and wallet after getting into the vehicle around 3:30 a.m.
It's a good scam.
Right?
It's a great scam. Honestly, I'm not the type to do it, but if you're thinking of a good scam, there you go.
Well, we've heard about this with like rape also, that people have gotten into the wrong car and they got raped. What's funny is everyone believes this guy got robbed, but I don't know. Guess a woman got raped. Who's gonna know? Was she horny?
Ugh. You know, I bet you that happens all the time. That's so scary.
Mm-hmm.
When they ask, what else do you do for a living? As if that's not the ultimate insult, right? As
Right.
like
Oh
a
my
waiter.
God.
But what do you want to be? I'm like, I want to give you this Sprite. Why are we having this conversation? Are you the president of HBO? Who gives a
Well,
shit?
see, after they ask me what I do for a living, they'll ask me, they'll be like, oh, so you must make a killing because you're doing this.
Right.
And then I'm like, no. Like, but the initial question is like, you didn't think that I could be doing this for a living, so why are you even using this service? If you think that people are doing this as slavery or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, these indentured servants driving you around for no money, and you're like, oh, I can't believe you do this.
Right, as a waiter. It's so sad. I'll take some more coffee.
Yeah, and then they're like mad that they're paying $3 for a 3-mile ride in like a fucking black on black Audi. Get the hell out of here, these people.
Well, I used to do kids parties and so the thing is parties was in my job title. I did kids parties. Right. Oh my God. And so I would be at these amazing parties. I was on like the Forbes boat where like they're having them, catered, and they could be outside and on the water, and it's just beautiful. Meanwhile, I'm hungry and I'm nauseous because the boat's moving and I'm trying to face paint your kid. And they're like, you must have the best time. I'm like, yeah, I'm having the best time. Your bartender is having the best time. That waiter that just handed you caviar, he's having the best time. We're all having the best time at this party. We weren't invited. Right. We go to the party so that you have a good time. You can at least not chit-chat to us about that.
Yeah, I'll be eating my dinner in the boiler room, but we're having a great time.
If they let me have any.
Right.
They didn't, that Forbes boat didn't. I mean, there were a lot of parties that did, and you don't have to feed me, but, you literally have caviar in your mouth on your breath. Going, you must be having a blast. I'm like, you don't even want to be around your own child, and I'm face painting her, but okay.
I mean, it's the same thing with comedy, though. People think comedians are having the best time.
They're the most miserable people.
The most miserable people. We have no fun at all. Like, literally can't even get out of our fucking houses most of the times. We're so depressed. And then it's like we go out and we give you people a good time.
And that's what gives us, so instead of going like, you must love your job, go, I love your job.
Right.
That's what we want. That will make us get out of bed the next day. I love your job. Oh, thank you. I have a reason to do this again because it's not the money.
Right. It's not. Definitely not.
When you're driving and they ask, hey, what else do you do? Have you ever accidentally said, meaning you didn't deliberately want to do it, I'm a comic. Fuck, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mostly if I let it out. When I first started, I used to let it out more often, and I used to try to promote it a little bit. If someone was fun in the car, I would give them my card afterward, and hopefully they'd come out to a show or something, or like me on Twitter. I think I have a few Twitter followers, probably Instagram followers, who are from my early Uber rides. But now I'm very careful because I learned very quickly that they'll all ask you to tell you a joke.
Right.
They have no boundaries. Just people are paying you $3. They're like, hey, can you do 2 jobs now for not even the price of one? They're all sick in their fucking heads. So, it's like, I'm not into it.
I used to say I want to be a singer. And again, like until I stopped, because then for singing, they can't just ask you to start singing while you're making a balloon animal for their kid, but they can give you advice. They can give you the best advice no one ever gave you. Right. And so they'll be like, oh, why don't you try out for what was the most popular singing thing, like American Idol. Yeah. Oh, you should try out for American Idol. I'm like, I'll get right on that. And I just stop. I'm just like, oh, you think I should? Why are we talking?
I get that all the time. You should why don't you just do Madison Square Garden? Literally, somebody suggested that to me recently.
Do you know it's world renowned?
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't think to do that.
And to promote, there's huge signs there.
I know, I'm so stupid.
They have a marquee.
Yeah,
it's big.
I don't follow basketball, but I know when there's a game there. It's a big deal. They really announce it.
You know how many people like comedy in New York? That could be you.
It could be a good idea for your career. That's how they think. They're like, I can't believe you're a comedian and you thought it'd be a good idea to drive for Uber in Tennessee and not headline Madison Square Garden. They're like, wow. They're like, I think I could be a comedian. I'd be better than you because I thought to do Madison Square Garden.
I mean, do you know To Kill a Mockingbird's going to be on Broadway? Do that. And then when you're comfortable, do Madison Square Garden. I'm not sure the hang up. Did you ever have to yell at a customer, curse at a customer?
Yes.
When you have to, you have to.
I can remember one very specifically. There's only been a few instances where I've said things to customers that were not nice that I wouldn't say in real life normally.
Such as?
This one lady was very drunk. She had a drunk friend.
Okay.
So there was two women, and they were hanging out with a group of guys on a deck. So you had to walk up the stairs to this deck to get into this bar. And they were in front of the bar on the deck. So the one lady comes down to the car, and I say, "Are you Elizabeth?" Let's just say her name was.
Right.
It was Janice.
Okay.
So we'll say Elizabeth. And I'm like, "Are you Elizabeth?" And she's like, "Yeah, hold on. I just need a minute." And I said, "Okay, well, what do you need a minute for?" And she said, "I just have to get my friend." And I said, "Okay." So she walks back up the stairs to go get her friend, who's the other girl. And the other girl, as she's walking up the steps, falls on her face on the deck. And the guys pick her up. And then she gets up there, and she's like, "Are you okay?" She's talking to her. And I'm just watching this all through the windshield, being like, this is going to be a nightmare. So that girl who fell once falls again over a stool that was like sitting next to a table.
No wonder she needs a cab.
Well, she's not going to get mine. That's for sure. So I open the window, and I just yell up there. I say, "Hey, that's not your friend, is it?" And the girl says, "No, this isn't her. I just need a few minutes." I said, "Okay, well, the clock is running, so once it hits 5 minutes, the app just tells me to leave."
Right.
And she says, "We'll start the ride now, and I'll give you a tip." And then, you know what I mean? So then I can't cancel the ride without it affecting me because I've already started the ride. So now the clock's not running. It's running on the payment, so I'm getting 9 cents a minute, which is fantastic.
Ooh.
You know, just really raking in the big bucks here. I was paying more in 1997 to have Miss Cleo read my fucking cards, but you know, here I am saying, "Call me now for just 9 cents a minute. You can ruin a Uber driver life." So she gets this girl, and she's bringing her down the stairs. The girl falls down the stairs. So then I open my window again, and I say, "Yeah, I'm canceling the ride." I'm like, "'Cause I could tell that's your friend and you're lying to me." And she said, No, don't be an asshole. I'm just going to get in with my friend. Don't worry. And I said, "Listen, if that's your friend, she's not getting in the car." So then she has an argument between the guys and the girl because they're just like, "Just go without her. We'll walk her home," all this stuff. And she's like, "Are you sure? Whatever." And at this point, I'm like pulling away. You know what I mean? Just about to cancel the ride. I'm one click away from canceling the ride. And she comes and knocks on the window. And she says, "Please just take me." And I could see that the ride's just down the block. It's like literally 2 minutes.
Okay. Within
This 2 minutes, she starts going off on me about how karma's going to get me because I didn't take that drunk girl in the car, all this stuff. And I'm like,
But you just said, "Please just take me." That's your karma.
Right.
You left your friend.
I said, it's 3:30 in the morning. I've been driving for 12 hours today. I was like, "Trust me, karma's on my side, you rotten cunt." And you can get the fuck out of my car. And I dropped her off a block away from her house, which was literally like you could see her house. And then she gave me a cash tip. She apologized, gave me a cash tip of $11 for it was like a $3 ride. And she said she was sorry. And then I gave her 1 star, and I called Lyft and made sure that her rating towards me didn't count.
Right. You're like Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind, right? They need to be told a certain way sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Every once in a while.
Wow, I can't believe that worked.
I couldn't believe it either. When she apologized to me, I was like, "Wow, she's really drunk." I was like, "'Cause you don't say that."
Like the next morning, she's like, "Oh, I think I fucked up. I think I apologized last night."
And then only one other time, this lady left her credit card and her phone, or not her phone, her credit card and her ID in my car. And I called the credit card company because I didn't know what to do. I didn't think to call Lyft I didn't realize they had a lost and found service at their office. So I called the number on the back of the credit card, and I was just like, "Hey, can I just mail this to you guys, and then you just mail it to her or something?" And they're like, "Oh, okay. What's the number on the credit card?" So I read it to them, and then they just go, "Okay, the credit card's canceled. Thank you," and they just hang up the phone. And so then I had to I had to talk to these people after that. And then they got charged a lot for a ride because they took a Black Lux ride that they thought was only going to be $14 and got charged $90 for it.
Well, that's their fault.
Right. That was their fault. But I only made $45 on this ride, you know, so I got ripped off by Lyft too. So then like Lyft gave them my phone number because I had their lost item and I was supposed to coordinate how to get it. This guy calls me up just yelling, "Why'd you charge me $90? All this stuff." And I was like, well, you're a fucking idiot because you don't know how Lyft works. And I was like, please never call me again or I'll call the police. And I don't charge you anything. I literally didn't even get paid enough for this phone call. So goodbye. And that's it.
Does your car smell like a weed factory?
No, I don't smoke in the car anymore.
Really?
Yeah. I don't smoke in my house anymore.
You all right?
I'm trying to be an adult, dude. I'm trying to have kids now. You know?
Trying to have kids now. He comes over for gifts. He gives us glass, and they're nice, but they're hand-blown glass pipes.
Well, I do. I'm a glass blower, and I'm trying to make money off of that and stuff. So I do hang out with a lot of people who smoke a lot of weed, but I just don't partake as much anymore.
What do? You spice up your own pickles?
I do. I also make pickles. Yes,
pickles you make.
Like pickles, yeah.
And are you making pipes out of pickles?
I'm making pipes that are shaped like pickles as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then I'm going to put them in a jar that had pickles in it, and the pipes will smell like pickles.
Oh, that's cute. And so, but you farm your own cucumbers.
Yeah. So since I have like a little piece of land now, I say land, it's only a third of an acre, but for here, that's like
that's a whole block.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. So I'm growing cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes. I make my own sauces, make my own salsas.
Yum.
Yeah, I'm trying to make some ghost pepper salsa next year.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I like hot stuff.
That's dangerous.
Now that I'm in the South, I like hot stuff.
Yeah.
How's your butt? Because that'll fucking ruin it.
It likes hot stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like a fire-breathing dragon right into the toilet.
Do you ship your stuff? I want pickles from you.
Here's the thing.
Because it's hard, right?
You can't ship it yet because I just don't know how I can do it because you're not supposed to ship food in UPS.
So I can get your pickled glass stuff though.
You can, I send pickled glass in the mail.
Okay, cool.
But the pickles are local Hendersonville, Nashville pickles now. So I sell them after my comedy shows. So a lot of people show up to Zanies when I'm not on shows, and they'll ask the staff if they can buy pickles.
Oh my God, that's funny.
How much is a pickle?
Well, you don't buy one pickle. You buy a jar of pickles. So I sell two size jars. It's 5 for the small ones, 10 for the big ones. It used to be 5 for all of them. But since I sold out this year,
nice.
Gotta up the prices.
But it's why you work for Uber. You have to give half the pickle money to them too. That's not right.
Yeah, I've had passengers who I sold pickles to.
Oh, really?
I had this old lady, and she's like, "Oh, you make pickles? That's nice. I would like 1 jar, please." And she left me a $5 bill, and she just trusted me that I was gonna bring her pickles. And I was like, "Oh, you stupid, cute little idiot!" I was like, "I'm never bringing you pickles."
How am I gonna find you?
She gave me her address, and I did bring her 2 jars for the price of 1.
All right.
Yeah.
Where do you keep them? In your trunk?
At that time, I did, yeah. But I keep them in the fridge. I have 2 fridges now. I had to buy a second fridge just for pickles.
That's great. How much pickles do you guys eat?
We eat a lot of pickles, actually. Yeah, a lot of pickles.
You get picked up now in a hearse, and there's a big fridge in the back of his pickles. He's trying to make everything work.
And now you're working. So I posted recently. I've been clearing out my house. I'm trying to throw out a bunch of shit, and I found my old clown costumes that my mom made and elf costumes that my mom made, and I was going to throw out the whole box. But I posted it on Facebook or whatever social media and said, "Hey, should I keep this or not?" Steven's like, "Hey, I'll be in town. I'll take your elf costumes."
Yeah.
So I recently gave him my elf costumes. He's going to wear it on his grandpa's farm.
Yeah, I have like 1 million jobs, and I don't know why I'm not a millionaire yet. So this is the elf costume. I'll be wearing this on my grandfather's farm, selling Christmas trees this weekend, and then I go back to Tennessee. Actually, I'm going to be in Alabama at Stand Up Live Huntsville, and I will also be wearing elf costumes.
Oh, that's awesome. And it says Giggles on it because that was my clown name, my elf name, because it was so hard for kids to say Chemda.
Yeah, much easier for Giggles, I guess.
That's why I dressed in a clown suit sometimes, because I'm like, just call me by my clown name.
I don't need you at my Christmas party with the big Star of David on your chest. You know what I mean? That doesn't feel right.
Oh, back in the day, I was Mrs. Claus. I was like whatever version of Christmas you people came up with. That was my job.
What famous
sexy Mrs. Claus? You guys are sick.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck?
It was on the menu. What am I gonna tell you? It's your rates sheet, not mine.
just like at a corporate. It's always corporate corporate Christmas party.
They want
There's
a
a
sexy
fat
Mrs.
fucking
Claus?
Santa, and yeah, me in knee highs and like a short skirt, but like red and white and like Santa suit, but like skirt and shit.
What famous people have you driven around?
Sexy Mrs. Claus. No, I drove Steven Tyler.
He's a talker, I bet, right?
A little bit. So when he first got in the car, I legit thought he was an old lady.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen like he lives next door to my in-laws on Maui, and they're like, "Oh, look who came over," and they send me a picture of him, and I'm like, "Who's this lady you're befriending?"
Right.
Dude looks like a lady.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying.
Yeah, it was ironic when he wrote it.
He wasn't tricking you.
Right. He
No
wasn't
tricks
tricking
with
you.
Steven Tyler.
We
Let me
thought
tell
it was
you.
about the dude from Motley Crue, but it was about him.
There is actually tricks with Steven Tyler. So he tricks you first because you think he's a lady. That's the
Right.
first trick. So I picked up this young girl and an elderly couple is what I thought. And her name was Amy. She spelled it Aimee. I already hated her. That's not how you spell Amy.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets in the car with this old lady in the back. And in the rearview mirror, I see that it's Steven Tyler. And I'm like, oh, my God. And he's just like immediately, he's like, hey, man, can you drop me off at this vegan cheeseburger place, man? He's like, I got high cholesterol. They got great vegan cheeseburgers. And you could just swing back around in 30 minutes and pick us up, right?
Okay.
And I'm just like, yeah, sure.
Right.
But in my head, I'm thinking like, that's not how Uber works. You know what I mean? He has no idea how Uber works. What an idiot. So then he's like, the two people that are with him, they're like, oh no, we have to get to the Hermitage Hotel. It's 25 minutes away, and we're 30 minutes, and we have 30 minutes to get there because we have a meeting, and we're gonna be late if we stop for cheeseburgers. So we're just gonna order food to the hotel. So Steven Tyler does a face palm and says, you're right, vegan cheeseburgers was such a stupid idea.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, like that, literally with that attitude. And they both at the same time were just like, no, vegan cheeseburgers is the best idea we've heard all day.
Oh my
Just
God.
like the biggest ass kissing I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, oh my God, Steven Tyler doesn't know what it's like to not have his ass kissed all day.
Right.
So then I was quiet. Because I was like, I want to get a good rating. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't want to get on Gilbert Gottfried already hates me. I don't need Steven Tyler,
Right.
to add to the list. So he's on the phone for like 25 minutes with some guy about how he has termites at one of his estates. And he goes, hey, man, can you get rid of the termites without killing them, man?
Aw, that's
I was
nice.
like, he doesn't even live in the same reality.
Right.
Right? He's so stupid. What an idiot.
Then he says, hey, can I just keep this car for the rest of the day? So I give him the car. I mean, this guy's a moron.
Moron. No, I sat there silently for 25 minutes with Steven Tyler in the back of my car. The stand-up comedian, you know how hard it is for me to sit there silently with Steven Tyler in the back of your car and not say, oh my God, you're Mick Jagger. Do you know how hard that is for me? And I showed restraint. Okay? And then he didn't even give me a tip. So that's his trick. No tip. He has Amy order the ride, and then he doesn't have to give a tip.
Are you guys able to? Is there a database where if I get an Uber from somebody, they'll see notes that you left about me, the customer, some other trip, or no?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
However, I can see your rating.
Okay.
I don't pick anybody up who has below a 4.7 rating.
Wow.
If you have below a 4.7, decline, not picking you up, because that means unless it's an even number. So if it's like a if it's a 4.67, then you know that it was like they got two 5-star ratings and one 4-star rating, right?
Okay.
If I can do the math on your rating, I'll pick you up. So if it's a 4.5, I know that you got one 4 rating and one 5 rating.
Okay.
But if you have a 4.51, whoa, like how did you get that? You know what I mean?
How did you get that?
Probably somebody gave him a 1 star, probably a couple 3 stars, you know what I mean, all mixed in. So it's probably not good. If you have like a weird number that I can't do the math on, that means that you got a lot of low ratings.
If I give you low stars, do you know that right away in that you're able to give me a low star back?
No, they make it so you can't do that. So
Okay.
like once you get a rating from someone, you can't see the rating they gave you until you rate them, and you don't know who gave you what ratings. So like I can see my rating go down, and I can just assume who gave me the bad rating.
Right.
So like one time a guy asked me to take him to Walgreens, but then halfway through the ride decided he wanted to go to a place called Captain D's. His name was Catavius.
Captain D's nuts.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said Catavius, Captain D's nuts, bro. So Catavius wanted to be dropped off at Captain D's, didn't say anything. Sits silently in the back of the car. Changes the address on me, but I'm already in the GPS app that's taking us to Walgreens. So at this time, the Lyft app didn't change your destination in the Waze app, but it did change in the Lyft app. So when we get to his destination, I go back to the Lyft app. We're not at his destination.
Okay.
And I asked him, I said, didn't you say we're going to Walgreens? And he said, yeah, we're going to Captain D's instead. And I was like, okay. So I take him to Captain D's and I drop him off. And I gave him 5 stars because if you don't rate them, they get 5 stars automatically.
Oh, what?
So I get a bad rating. I get a 1-star rating throughout the day. I didn't see it immediately, but I saw it a few hours later. And then I get a call from Lyft being like, hey, we got a notification saying that you were driving reckless and almost hit a lady in a stroller.
That's so specific.
And I was like, well, that's weird because that's never happened. And he goes, do you know which rider might have said this? And I said, listen, I only had one ride today where a guy changed the destination halfway through the ride. His name was Catavius. And they just said, say no more. And they canceled his rating.
Wow.
And they made, they knew that he was trying to sabotage me. And lady in a stroller.
Wow.
Or with a stroller. The lady wasn't in the stroller. She was pushing it. So.
Right. I mean, who knows? It's a made-up story.
It was a made-up story.
Who the fuck knows? But you're there with your 4.9. Will you be sleeping sometimes and the review comes in? It's like, what took you 2 days to review me?
So, yeah, sometimes you get a review from days before that. What happens is...
And you just guess who that's from.
Yeah, but I usually don't get too many. It's usually like, I can usually tell who's giving me the review based on how interactions went,
Okay.
Or the comment that they leave.
Speaking of all your jobs, by the way, you have, I don't know if it's in a garage or what, but you have towers of computers that right now are, not that I know what any of this means, mining cryptocurrency, specifically Ethereum.
Yes.
As if I have any idea what that is. Are you rich from this?
No.
Does it pay for the electricity it takes to run the servers?
Yes, like I'm basically breaking even. So I'm basically collecting cryptocurrency by paying electric bills. So it's like it's an even trade, but
Right.
it's a way to get some anonymous money. The cryptocurrencies, what's great about them is that nobody knows what you have. Like you can spend it and nobody can track. People can track it, I guess,
Right.
but it's kind of more anonymous and it's a little bit. It's called decentralized, they say, because the government has no bearing on it.
Right. I've been seeing some. Am I reading this right? I'll see an article here and there about a scam or people's millions being stolen from some hacker. Is that true?
That happens all the time. Well,
Really?
I'm very careful with it. So all of my cryptocurrencies go. They're in like a safe, basically. They're on a key that's in a safe.
Okay.
So you'd have to steal the safe, break it open, and then you could probably access my coins. But most people,
My computers are doing that right now.
they're just breaking into my safe.
Mhm.
As you have robot computers that can physically break into a safe. Well, see, people put their money on exchanges. So if you're trading cryptocurrencies, you have to be on an exchange. There's something like Poloniex or Bittrex, BitMEX, all these different exchanges. They're not as safe. So people hack the exchanges. And they take all the coins off the exchange, and then the exchange doesn't have any more coins to back the money that you put in.
See, this coin stuff is so much smarter than me that when I read a hacking story, I'm a little happy. I'm like, and that's why I never got into it anyway.
I legit get happy when I read the hacking stories too, though, and I am in it. I'm never getting hacked though because it's like my stuff isn't. Knock on wood.
I know, like definitely put that into the atmosphere.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's not that I'm never getting hacked. I could easily get hacked if somebody really wanted to hack me personally. They could access any coins that I have. I do have some coins on my computer right now. That's not in a safe on a key. The ones in the key on a safe, it would be really hard for them to hack.
Good luck, Baron Trump.
So that's the safest thing to do. Is you have to buy one of these things called there's one called a ledger. There's one called a Trezor. There's different keys. They're USB keys that you put in a code, and it has a 24-word password. So you have to have all those 24 words in order to get into the account.
By the way, you mentioned you don't need this guy hating you, Steven Tyler. You already have Gilbert Gottfried hating you. You were in charge. You were supposed to keep his props safe once at a club over the weekend, and even though you warned the wait staff about it, somebody ended up throwing his props away anyway. What are the props? Paper plates, a napkin that he tears up and acts like it's a squid. I know what his props are.
He wears the bowls like yarmulkes, I think, and he also does army men with a bowl. I don't know.
And you ruined his whole act.
I ruined the whole thing.
So he hates you.
Hates me.
Offer him a free ride somewhere.
Fuck that.
Right?
Actually, that's the way it is hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, oh my god, him getting in the car is difficult. Just he's so like he's falling apart. So I feel bad for him, and I felt terrible that his props got thrown away.
Right.
And I really did try to make it up to him, and I really wish that he saw the effort that I put in to try to.
You went to different stores,
Went
trying
to
to
different
find
stores,
things.
went to different restaurants, called several Hooters asking if they had wooden bowls.
Because that's where you remember they have
That's the
wooden
only
bowls.
place I've ever seen wooden bowls.
Steven Spinola online. You can follow at Mr_McStevie. That's the Twitter account. Just picked up a guy from the emergency room in my Uber and took him to KFC. He said he had to get gallstones removed, and the doctor says it's because he eats too much greasy food.
Oh my goodness.
Alrighty then.
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
big guy. What an idiot.
Wow.
I mean, this guy, he was a real moron. I'll tell you a funny story about this guy. Actually, do you have access to a computer right now?
Sure.
Can you look up football darts?
Okay.
Because this guy tried to tell me that he's the inventor of football darts.
Oh.
And he's like, it's going to be huge. He's like, it's selling on Amazon this Christmas. He's like, I'm projecting 4.2 million. I was like, dude, you're not
Oh,
even
I see
taking the
them.
luxury Uber right now. And I drove him to a trailer park after I drove him to the KFC.
Well, he's projected to make millions.
No, not that. No.
Okay.
It's a football dartboard. It's a dartboard with a football game somehow attached to it.
Oh.
So this guy invented it. And so I drive him from the emergency room where he had gallstones removed, which are basically, it's like a thing that grows around your bladder and puts pressure on your bladder, your gallbladder or whatever. And it's because you eat like shit.
Well, you know what's funny is I was in the hospital for a week, open heart surgery, and granted that has nothing to do with my stomach, but the food that they were initially giving me, I think I was on regular food for a day or two, and then I was bumped up to VIP, which is another weird thing that you can get in a hospital. But the food that they were giving me, I promise this was not food. This was crazy. I was like, oh my God, people are sick in this hospital and they're giving them this. It was inedible. I'm not being a snob about it.
Trying to keep him there.
I really think I'm not kidding. I think KFC had better food than this hospital food. I'm not exaggerating. It isn't. It's like, do you remember when was TV dinners first invented? Like that slop.
Mm-hmm.
It's worse than that. Worse than that.
I had a couple overnight stays. I only ate the rolls. And then my friends would bring in food, and they're like, oh, you don't want to eat the hospital food? Eat it! I want to see you eat it,
Yeah.
nurse!
The only thing I've ever eaten in a
crazy.
hospital is Jell-O.
Yeah, Jell-O and rolls.
By the way, the Jell-O sucked. They gave me Diet Jell-O.
Oh, that sucks.
I was like, oh my, how bad could it be? It's Diet Jell-O. Okay, great. I want sugar and whatever.
It's gross.
I looked at my tumor, and that was more appealing to eat than the fucking food they were giving me. It was so disgusting.
It's like day 3. I kept getting the yellow and green Jell-O. And I go, you know what? I don't want to be a prima donna here, but can I get
Some
maybe red or
yeah,
orange
can we get
Jell-O?
some red in here.
And the nurse says, everyone wants those ones.
Oh my God. It cost the same, you bitch.
Yeah, I don't want to change your whole diet plan. Make more of those.
Right. I have a tube in my stomach. Can I have more Jell-O?
Listen, that's going to bring the hospital down financially.
Yeah.
But you know, the worst was on VIP. I'm not exaggerating. I got lamb. Like those, what are lamb lollipops? What are they?
Yeah, lamb chops.
Lamb chop
Lamb chops.
with like perfectly roasted asparagus.
Wait,
like,
did you just say lamb lollipops?
yeah, because they're on that bone. So delicious. It was so good. Too bad I couldn't eat because like everything like shit, coming out of every part of my body. So
That sounds good. Lamb
it's
medallions?
so good.
That's
It was
great.
so good. But I was on some VIP program because thank you to the listeners. We tagged me being in the hospital on Facebook, and everyone was like, oh, blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, the PR from the hospital came to visit me. They sent me flowers. Like,
Oh,
And I
that's some bullshit
it's
right
such
there.
bullshit.
That makes me mad.
I
No,
know.
Sorry.
No.
I like that you got good treatment, but wow, that's some real bull.
I got really upset. I'm like, I understand that I am living a better life right now this week in this hospital, and the good news was the woman next to me was also on the VIP program, so I was like,
thank
okay,
God, yeah.
fine.
Right.
But fuck off that there is a VIP program, and fuck you for not splitting the difference. You can take lamb and throw it don't buy fucking lamb. I'm in the hospital.
yeah.
Like some light fruit. Oh, I got like beautiful fruit and like just give everybody fruit, a little bit more vegetables. You know what I mean? And instead of like treat everyone like homeless except for like a couple people
Right.
that gave you enough likes.
Right.
You're a hospital.
I mean, for the amount that these people get paid and the amount that people pay for insurance, it's like the
Yeah.
way you get treated is so insane.
Yeah, they're showing off to me. They're like, you know how much this pill that you're about to take costs? I'm like, can you have different conversation with me right now? Can I get that, like, you're in the hospital all day and we're at your job, but I don't need to talk to you. Just give me the fucking pill. $1,000. It costs $1,000, and I'm like,
I'll enjoy it.
can I Venmo you? I don't know.
Cut it in half, and I'll
I had $4,000 worth of just morphine when I had my hand, and I was only in there for 6 hours, and they did no surgery.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I hate hospitals.
every 6 hours, whatever the rules were, I'm like, yeah, I'll take more morphine. I'm not paying you anyway.
I asked every 5 minutes for morphine. Yeah, and they just kept giving it to me, and then at the end they gave me a really long bill. And every time that I got it and how much it cost, and it came out to $4,000.
That's really, really sick. It's
Yeah.
really just disgusting. There wasn't a lot about hospital and the way it works that I was like, wow, you guys are really nailing it on a regular basis.
You
They
guys
literally couldn't even have a surgeon see me in that time. By the time the surgeon got to me, my hand was too swollen to work on.
Holy shit.
Kim just said, this is disgusting. Now, hot towel, please.
I got a sponge bath.
Right.
That was so weird. I was like, oh, let me experience
They gave
this.
you a sponge bath?
Well, they have to wipe me down and I can't get up. So, yeah, sure.
Oh, my gosh.
There's like an actual nurse who does that. She comes in and she wipes me down like I'm a baby. It is so awkward. I'm like, you're going to get my butt, aren't you? Yep, you're getting my butt. Okay.
Oh, gosh.
That's my puss. That's great.
That's what's going to happen to us when we're old.
You have to feel so comfortable. They're like, we're going to put a needle in you and your arm is out of needle places. Stomach? I'm like, yeah, sure. Here's my stomach.
Oh, gosh.
You took your underwear off for the sponge bath? Interesting.
I don't know that I did, honestly.
Probably not. Probably not. Don't ask. Don't ask. By the way, I'm looking online. I don't think this guy's football game took off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some real nonsense. I mean, I didn't think it was going to when he was going to the KFC after getting the call stuntry. I said, that's not a move a CEO usually does. He doesn't usually go for the KFC right after the gallstone removal.
Don't tell him I was here. Right. Don't tell him I was in this car, the doctor. Twitter account, like I said, it's the same as Instagram at Mr_McStevie. And the website is StevenSpinola.com. And that's it. And keep track of the family to be.
Oh, there's also my glass Instagram. You can follow at YasGlass, YAS Glass. That's my glass company, I guess.
Sass glass.
Ooh, sassy.
Yes.
Yes, queen.
Yes.
So I make glass. I make glass Christmas ornaments. If you need Christmas gifts, I can ship them to you. So look on my Instagram.
That's so nice. And also, by the way, if you ever miss what somebody's Twitter or Instagram or whatever, we post it on the Keith and the Girl Instagram and we tag everybody. So make sure you're following us and then we'll update you. Oh, we had a push-up thing before the show. We posted that on our stories.
A push-up thing. Okay.
I started a push-up challenge today. And I made everyone in this room before the show do it with me. It's only 5 push-ups.
What a challenge.
I'm into it. I'm into it. I need to start doing more push-ups.
And is building us up to 7.
Yeah.
We're at 5 right now.
Are you going to do it? Are you going to do the challenge?
I did it today, right?
Yes. So do I come in and tell you how many push-ups you do every day?
Nah, tell me at the end. I'll be caught up. How high can 1,000, Keith? You should have been practicing. Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow.